of a contract, and then you have 4 years left as part of the company in some form or fashion, wearing a suit and tie, doing autograph sessions, whatever. That's what I was looking for from him, because, you know, I'm working for you for X amount of dollars. I can go over there and work for X plus dollars. It's simple mathematics. And he said, well, where's your loyalty? And I said, my loyalty is with my wife and my son. And you know, and when I am not able to wrestle, then with myself. And so, you know, if I heard your question correctly, why would I leave that type of respect and that type of position? You know, the bottom line is we're professional athletes, and as we all know now, we earn our money. You cannot in any way, shape, or form call professional wrestling fake. Not when you're doing 275-plus matches a year on the road, flying on a plane, getting your ass kicked every night. And I don't care if you're winning or losing, you're getting your ass kicked. Your back hurt, your knees hurt, your head hurt, your elbows hurt. And, you know, I've been there, and I did it as an active 400-pound man. So, I mean, you have to think about these types of things, security for the future. And, you know, my hat's off to the guys that are doing now. And every time I hear the word fake, I cringe. It's like, you stupid. You know, and I want to cuss right here, but I know we're on the radio. I won't do it, but you stupid idiot.
Oh, go ahead.
You don't have any idea what you're talking about. You know? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just saying,
feel free to cuss.
Yeah, feel free. We are no holds barred. You can call someone, you know, a son of a pup. You can call him a horse's ass, or you could say something worse if you want to. You are held by no constraints.
I'm talking about the mentality primarily from football buddies that I played with in the Rams or at the University of Colorado. I mean, yeah, Leon, that stuff's fake. That's why you can do it 300 days a year. I said, you stupid son of a bitch. You couldn't get on a plane and carry my bags for 300 days. Let alone get in the weight room and then get out there and perform. And not just perform, but perform well, or you won't be there very long. In the NFL, it stands not, if you fuck up too much, it stands for not for long. Well, you know what? The same applies in professional wrestling. I mean, look at all the young men that have died. I mean, this is a rough sport. You know, they say, please, don't ever call football just a game. Well, you know, in my mind, don't ever call wrestling fake. I mean, you look at guys like Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, people that have been doing this. And my God, Ric Flair, I mean, he's still out there, and he's just not appearing. He's still doing a good job. I mean, a great job.
Agreed.
You know, like him or dislike him. Does it really fucking matter? I mean, this guy is like a machine. He's like that Energizer Bunny, and he's still charged to the hilt. You know, Undertaker is someone that I've always really respected. I mean, he's got some back problems and just won't say no, won't quit. Shawn Michaels is a similar situation with his back and with his knees, and you know, has there ever been a greater performer, a greater entertainer than Shawn Michaels? You know, we've had our troubles in the past, but like I said, remember the time when I went out to Taboo and did something that you know, maybe was questionable, but Shawn and I got together, we talked. I mean, you see people after a while and you say, my God, has this guy changed? I mean, Shawn's married, he's got kids, he's got religion in his life, and, you know, he's still doing it. So, hey, as far as I'm concerned, it was a great trip, you know.
Well, once again, we are aboard with the man they call Vader right now along the airwaves of the Monday Night Mayhem Radio Network. Vader's going to be in attendance next Saturday. If you are in and around the Northeast area, Carteret, New Jersey, the Legends of the Ring Convention, you very well can actually swap stories with Vader just like we're doing right now along the areas of Monday Night Mayhem.
It just ain't me. I mean, we got Lex Luger, we got Goldust, we got Bret Hart. I mean, we've got some big names coming.
You guys got a stacked lineup.
Eric Stentz, who is a great promoter, and he's put this thing together out there, and I'm thankful for him calling me, and I'm very honored to be part of it.
Well, 100%. You know, Eric and ESS Promotion, they do great work, of course, here for us at the Mayhem as well. When we were at Raw last week in Buffalo, Vader, we did see a man who is, it seems he gets paid by the word, and that same word is damn. Every single week we see him in some capacity in WWE programming, and that's Ron Simmons. When you factor into the fray, you've got Ron Simmons and Sting, two wrestlers who you had, you know, a feud with in 1992 over the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The fact that Simmons is still very prevalent on WWE television, and Sting, God bless him, he's doing great things for TNA. What does it show about the guys that you wrestled in the early in the mid '90s? I mean, I know you mentioned Shawn Michaels you wrestled at SummerSlam '96. You talked about The Undertaker. What does it say about the guys from that genre that are still pretty much kicking ass and taking names?
Well, okay, you want to repeat the question? They're still kicking ass? They were younger than me. They were 10, 12 years younger than me. Bottom line. I always lied about my age. Shawn is either 11 or 12 years younger than me. And I know Ron Simmons is just by when he graduated from Florida State and when I graduated from the University of Colorado and when my rookie year in the NFL. But that aside, I mean, damn. I mean, you know what? Could there be a better guy that deserves to be involved still in wrestling by contributing what he's contributing? I mean, this is a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a man. He's funny to be around. He doesn't have shit to say if he's got a mouthful of it. And I'll tell you what, he talk about having your back. I mean, if there's a problem, he's there. And Ron was one of the high spots of my career in terms of meeting people. Sting and I were good friends. We had some legendary matches with Sting, and that was just a pure athlete. Could basically do anything I asked him to do, and just the answer was always yes. And I think we had some very, very, very good matches. I had some good matches with Shawn. And a lot of my matches were with Inoki and Fujinami, and the names that maybe your fans aren't interested in, or would know unless you were really a hardcore fan. But The Undertaker, I had some good ones with Ric Flair, Arn Anderson. Stone Cold and I teamed up for about 2 or 3 matches, and we were tearing the house down. And Flair was the booker, and he saw how good we were doing, and boy, he separated us real quick. He didn't want no part of that type of competition in the tag team ranks. We would have made one hell of a tag team in WCW. Let me put it that way, because you got to admit there was obviously Steve is one of the greatest, most talented wrestlers, smartest wrestlers of all time, and for a big man, I was pretty good myself. So that could have been one of the all-time great tag teams.
Let me ask you this, Vader. Obviously, we talked about some of the guys who you competed with in WCW. Is there one feud? Because you had a lot of different kinds of matches, cage matches. You worked with Hogan. You worked with Dustin Rose. You worked with Davey Boy Smith. We could spend just a half an hour talking about the guys that you worked with in WCW. And I got to say, you were part of the company at the time where a lot of mainstream fans today might not know, but there was a lot of great wrestling, and a lot of the guys that went on to spectacular careers, Mick Foley as Mankind in the WWE, Steve Austin was a part of the company at that time, Brian Pillman. These are guys that were some of the greatest athletes, entertainers, performers in professional wrestling history, and it's not to say that people weren't tuning in, but of course the mainstream product was the WWE before the NWO, and Hogan came in at WCW, but question being, what was your, looking back in your career in World Championship Wrestling, what are you the most proud to say, what, I worked that feud, I worked with this guy, we drew a lot of money. There's one or two things you could sort of pinpoint, what would they be?
Well, before I get to the answer, obviously Ron Simmons, I drew a lot of money. And they were just, they weren't very scientific matches, they were very good matches, they were power matches. And when you, if you look up in the dictionary the definition of man, you see Ron's face there. He was all man. He was strong. He was quick. He was, he could back up anything he had to say. And we had some great matches, And then of course Cactus Jack had that rivalry. This guy, I think he's a tremendous wrestler and he's a tremendous thinker. Obviously, when a man can sit down and write a bestseller, he's got a good brain. And he took that writing and would write pages and pages and give it to Vince, and then. After a long, long time, he finally got over. Any guy that can use a sock and get over the way he does, that's smart. Bottom line, that's smart. Real quickly about Foley before I move on. Foley wrote in his book, he was saying that, what did he say? I read it, and I was kind of surprised to hear it from Mick. He said, that I had a car, and I kind of pulled up and said, hey, you need a ride, which was bullshit. Mick Foley, he's probably got the first nickel he ever made, and I'm proud of that. I'm happy for him and his family. But, he didn't have a rent-a-car. I said, Nick, you need a ride, because I knew he didn't have a car, and he was looking around. So he gets in the car, and, hey, you want to drive? Because I'm going to drink some beer and have some potato chips. And it was only 100 degrees outside, so I took off my shirt. And, and then he questioned my singing. I love to sing, not because I'm good at it, just because I enjoy it. Most people do things that they're fairly good at, and that's why they enjoy it. I enjoy singing because it pleases me. I don't really give a fuck who else it pleases. But he commented on that, and then he goes back, and you know what?